Hey TCS, let's recap the week. So cool to see how many students jumped into this digital project with both proverbial feet. Did we know this was going to be successful? No. Facilitators, we might be acting like we had this thing covered and we were all super confident, but no. We were just making this up as it goes along. No one became a teacher to sit in front of a computer, so frankly, we're not exactly trained up for this. But as ever, we facilitators need to remember one of our foundational TCS truths, which is this: always bet on the students. Let's take this day by day. Monday, we read 4 inspiring stories, all taken off of the Nextdoor app. My favorite story that we looked at was the one about Julia Lynn, the 16-year-old high school student who organized a food drive in her own town. Wearing latex gloves, she collected food and set up distribution centers to get calories to hungry people. It wasn't complex. It wasn't based on some unattainable talent or resource. It was effort, it was grit, and it mattered. Let's look at some responses. Allie Lynch noted, showing that people need help and support in these times and helping them will make others want to as well. Like with the 4 Stories article, it showed how people really just want to help. It was like a chain reaction. Someone did one thing, then others followed because they know it's the right and good thing to do. Now listen, I love that. First, I love that she references the articles, but also that she notes how in each case, helping spurred more helping. It was like a spark that started a fire, that started like a bigger fire. Next, I like Joseph's point about making their story public. After saying it's better to be a bit behind with accurate information than out front with like wrong information, he says people should also make their own stories public. Sometimes the ideas people have and their methods of coping can help others, but first those stories and ideas need to be shared. What I love about this is that simply being a witness and sharing our lives, that in and of itself is important. It shows your neighbors shut up in their homes that they are not alone. Finally, and there were so many good posts from this first day, it was hard to choose, but Charlie reminded me of something that I think is super important. Charlie said, we as a less targeted group need to carry out the responsibility of also staying home and social distancing. Even though it sucks, we must follow what the CDC recommends. Charlie goes on to note that you can still be carriers and that staying home is, in a very real way, saving lives. This actually stopped me in my tracks for a moment because this whole project is predicated on this overwhelming desire that we all have to do something. I have to do something. And we should and we will, but let us not forget that we are already. As Charlie reminds us, we are doing so much by doing so little, by staying home and by slowly devolving into these weird little shut-ins that grow out our hair and never leave the house, and we peer creepily out of windows and take in stray cats until we have like 11 of them and they all sleep in our bed together except for that one, she knows what she did, and then we start saving our fingernails until they're in little piles, and then we make those piles into collages, and they're collages of our cats. So that got weird. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you are a superhero. Thanks for the reminder, Charlie. Tuesday broadened our scope to people taking action on overwhelming problems, like Robin Emmons and her solution to the food desert. Or I love the Chad Pregrackle article, the guy who pulled 67,000 tires out of the Mississippi. He's also helped retrieve 218 washing machines, 19 tractors, 12 hot tubs, 4 pianos, and almost 1,000 refrigerators. My favorite quote was this one: people intentionally dumped these in the river. Did anyone think that these were accidents? Like, go and grab the milk in the morning and, not again. Marge! Yeah, the fridge fell in the Mississippi again. Anywho, David Goldblum said this: I think people can find hope in the time of a crisis by simply seeing/hearing of people giving into that call of action. Throughout the articles we read today, it was a common theme that the people that made a difference first needed a reason to accept the call to action. For Robin, it was seeing her brother suffer and become a borderline diabetic. For Chad, it was seeing all of the waste in his river. And for Estella, it was seeing the students she dedicated her life to not succeed because of a technology problem. All 3 of these people made a huge difference, and all of them brought hope. While I don't love the giving in framing, I would prefer stepping up. I do like the point that we need to hold fast to our reasons to get involved. We need to feel the injustice or the real need on an emotional level. Also, way to go citing the articles. Definitely need more of that in these posts, everybody. Finally, on Tuesday, Julia Fritz wrote, I think there's an important distinction between hope as a fleeting feeling that makes you feel better temporarily and the kind of hope that pushes you to be positive and take action. We should focus on building the second kind. The word I love there so much is building. that second type of hope is something you build. It's not the fleeting first kind, the type that comes and finds you at the end of a Disney movie, but it's the type of hope that you go out and get because you choose to be hopeful. You choose it every day, and you can build that hope into something real, something with staying power. Wednesday, we turned to identifying needs. Alex Glover talked food, joy, and hope. Chloe Paparazzo talked doggies in need of walks. David Goldblum talked small acts of kindness, while Josh Martin went real practical with food, toilet paper, and soap. Lydia Miller, hope, hopeful information. Jacqueline Cross and Samantha Dickens both said, I don't know, which is always an underrated answer. There is so much pressure in high school to have the answer all the time, and the truth is, we don't. That's why we're doing the whole project. Paul talked joy. Jess talked blood. Aubrey talked, among other things already mentioned, about activities for small children. Aubrey, I feel you there. My children are going crazy, and they're taking me with them. Owen said connection. Madeline, encouragement. Adam, relief through comedy. Rachel Day reminded us that we are already doing something with social distancing. Kaya Karu talked about encouragement and hope. And finally, Milo brought it all home with the need for accurate information and for spreading education. Big fans of education around here. Thursday, we talked about power, and Friday about change. Really good contributions there as well. But this thing is getting long, and I think we need to give out some awards. First up in our award ceremony tonight, the Reasonable Schedule Award, given to the student who seems to be maintaining a reasonable human schedule. Posting first 4 out of 5 days, including a record-setting 7:27 a.m. posting on Friday morning. Congratulations to Mallory Martin. Yay! Quick note here, need to address a technicality. Ari's Friday post at 12:47 a.m. Yeah, disqualified. Not reasonable, Ari. Go to bed. Next up, the Puppers Award, given to the student with the most dogs effectively integrated into a thumbnail photo. And the winner here is Allie Lynch. Well done, Allie. 2 dogs, very cute. Now on to a more serious category, the Bringing All That Psych Knowledge Award, given to the student, hitting us with all that brain-based knowledge. Why? Not entirely clear, but we love it anyway. Put your hands together for Elijah. Very well done, Elijah. And finally, the Creating a Thumbnail That Is Actually Just a Picture of Yourself Award, given to the student who refreshingly just uses thumbnails as they were intended. No, it doesn't go to the Nazi dog, to Terminator Goldblum, 4/5 of Calvin's cat, whatever this is, or this, or this. No, the winner goes to Charlie Moore. Very well done, Charlie. Very good. Well, TCS, before I go, a few announcements. Number 1, remember last video when I said that spring break was something that we're gonna more or less ignore? Not so much. Turns out messaging from the district has been decidedly more consistent on that front than we first anticipated. So we are going to be taking a spring break, whatever that means. I'm going to Cabo. And we will not be running the project, making posts, or emailing. Instead, we are going to roll the calendar back by 1 week and keep this train a-moving. Next, number 2. This might shock you, but there are people enrolled in the project who have not yet decided to participate. Really want to encourage you to get engaged and get involved. Get on a schedule and show up. We need your voice and we need your ideas, and we promise it's a really good idea to connect with your community, especially right now. We care about you. We want to know you're okay, and if you are not, we want to know that too. If you miss the boat on the first week of the project, that doesn't mean you can't jump in week 2. No one is going to shame you. No one's going to do like a whole, well, look who decided to show up thing. No, TCS students, they own their learning. Agency. We talk about it more than you probably think is reasonable. Finally, number 3, spring break. We really encourage you to spend this time focused on yourself and your family. Think about what helps you recharge emotionally. Take a walk, read a novel, create some art, garden, bake, exercise, whatever it is. If you are pursuing independent projects or logging fitness hours, make sure you are in touch with your advisor and documenting your learning and your process. We will be back to this project on Monday, April 13th. I'll bet you're woken up by a remind text. Well, everyone but Mallory. Miss you all. Stay well, stay happy, stay engaged. We'll see you soon.